What's going on, guys? How we doing today? This is Sharka here with you. In this video, I'll be showing you guys the exact criteria and the exact checklist that I actually go through and make sure that my products that I find match this criteria and this checklist in order for me to proceed with further investigation and actually consider the product. So be sure to subscribe to my channel, as in my channel I go over many of the strategies and many of the methods that I personally use and share them with you, and pretty much tell you how I have become successful on on Amazon, and how I am actually selling successfully on Amazon. So be sure to subscribe to my channel. Be sure to hit the like button and leave in the comments below any questions you may have or any further topics and subjects you want me to cover that I haven't covered in the past, or maybe I've touched on just briefly and you want me to go more in depth. So be sure to hit that subscribe button and hit like on the video. So if you look over here, I have my checklist that I have created, which is pretty much the criteria and the checklist that the item has to match and has to actually pretty much cover all those in order for me to actually do further research and go on to considering the item. So the first thing, and as you can see, is profits versus sales. So when I say profits versus sales, my goal for each item or each product that I find is it making me $3,000 a month. Now the way I look at that, okay, I'll say, so if I sell 10 items a day, and if I make $10 profit in an item, then I need to sell, that essentially is $100 a day times 30, that's $3,000 a month. So I look at it, okay, if it's going to make me $3,000 a month at least, then I will consider it. Otherwise I won't, because I know that there are many items out there, many products out there that have the potential of making me that much, and it's just not worth my time. When I first started, I would go for products that would make me $1,000, $1,500 to even $2,000. But then as I started progressing and as I started actually coming up with my own methods of finding products and finding the products, I started eliminating all the other products that weren't making me as much money. Now the second thing is reviews. I make sure that my competition does not have more than 50 reviews. Now here's the thing, the way I do it is that I look at the top 12 or top 13. So everything in here is I look at the top 12, top 13 of the listings within that product, right? So let's say if the top 1 or 2 has 100, 150, even sometimes 200 reviews, that's okay. But as long as 7 of the top 12 or 13 fall within this criteria, then I will consider this product, and then I'll actually jump onto a product in a little bit after I explain everything, to show you guys exactly what I'm talking about and show you what I am saying here. Now number of sales, so once again more than 300 a month. Now that is only partially true, because sometimes, let's say if I find a product that will make me $5 profit, but per item, but it sells $600 a month, then that's okay. That essentially is the same thing. That essentially is still $3,000 a month, and that's what I look for. So but I just have that right here. Sell price more than $18, because once again I look for items that will make me essentially $10 profit. So it has to be at least $18. Sometimes even it has to be like at least 22, 23. That's what I really look at. But I search for as low as 18, just to kind of I don't want to make my search too narrow, because I want to kind of see what's out there. Because once again, it might only make me $5, $6, $7 instead of $10, but it'll sell 4, 5, 600 units a month, and that is still okay, right? It has to be above $6.99. Once again, it goes back to this. It at least has to be above $6.99. So if you are gonna, maybe you have a tight budget, you only have $500, $600, $700 to start with, and you can't find a product that will sell for 20 bucks or 20-something dollars that cost a lot. You have to, to manufacture and ship the product has to only cost you maybe like $2 or something. You can only order like 100 units, so you want your item to only, not to be very expensive. Make sure that it's at least $6.99, and the reason why I have $6.99 is because Amazon will actually categorize your item as an add-on, which means it cannot be checked out by itself. So it actually, so if you go and try to click on it, it won't add it to your cart unless you have bought something else and then you add it to your cart. Just because it does not make sense for Amazon to actually ship those products, because they just don't make money, right? Because 15% of $6.99 is what, $1, I think, or maybe even less than that. And then the shipping and all that, it costs more in shipping than what they actually make, right? Price action, I make sure that the price action is stable. Once again, I'll look into that, or I'll show you guys exactly what I'm talking about. Possible liability. So let's say a lot of times Amazon will ask you if it's hazardous good. Like one of the first items that I wanted to list had a dye, or like let's say another item that I'm actually going to be, the item that I'll be actually showing you guys has small parts to it. So depending on exactly the age limit who's using it, but that particular item is only used for people in high school or college. But if it, let's say if an item has small parts to it or something like that, and then it's like a toy for kids under 3, then it might be difficult to actually to even get it listed, and things like that I don't even look into, because what if a child swallows it or chokes on it or something. So I look at all these things also. Also, if it's breakable. So when I say by breakable, let's say if you have something that has like a bulb or something like that, you don't want to go into that, because what if you're shipping it and then it's getting shipped from China all the way to, and then from there it's getting shipped all the way to the U.S. So that would be a problem there too. Also, it might break or something like that. So I make sure that that is also something I look into. Also, competitors listing. I'll look at all of my competitors, or the competitors within that product, and I'll say, okay, well, how much are they making, first of all, and then second of all, could I beat this listing, or these listings? What can I do better? Are they professional sellers? Are they just somebody learning right now? What can I do to improve? And is there room to improve? You know what I mean? So I'll put that also under, or I'll look at that. Another thing is weight. I make sure it's not more than 2 pounds. I'll go up to 2.5 pounds, but I like to kind of have things under 2 pounds, and that's because of shipping. Dimensions. Make sure that it fits in a shoe box. Something like that will be okay. And once again, that's for shipping purposes. Cost of product, it has to cost less than 25% of selling price. So with it shipped all the way to the U.S. with shipping costs, all that, so let's say if you're selling it for $20, it has to cost $2.50, or I mean $5 or less than that. And the reason why, it's because once again, if I'm selling for $20 and I want to make $10, well, it costs me $5 to ship. I have $5 to advertise, to buy the UPC code, all that stuff, which that's not much, but I leave some room to mess around with, right? In the beginning, part of my my promotions and part of my advertising to get things going right away is running a giveaway, and that's pretty much giving getting sales up and running very quickly, so I can start organically rank up. So I give myself some leeway there. FBA calculator, I look at the FBA fees, make sure that I'm still going to be making profits, and I'll show you what I'm talking about in a little bit. Patented, I make sure that it's not patented. I honestly have personally not gone through this issue before, but I've seen a few of my students do, and that's something you want to look into and make sure that you don't fall into it, because you can spend $1,000 or $500 or a couple thousand or whatever it is on an item and then get it shipped and maybe even get selling and do okay with it, and then before the headquarters or the company that you are copying or whatever that have patented it send you a cease and desist letter or something, and or serve even a lawsuit. So you want to make sure that's not patented, and then you go on to Google Patents to find that out. It's very simple. Brand name dominant. Now when I say that, I mean is so let's say if you go on to a listing and then you see multiple, let me jump on to Amazon right now, and I'll show you guys what I'm talking about. So for the purposes of this video, What I've searched is molecular model kit. And it's pretty much like the atoms and the bonds and things like that they use for schools. This is used for schools, colleges. And by the way, don't mind the glare on my face. Don't mind the maybe even your hair and ducks or whatever. I'm just kind of chilling at the park. You know, there's a beautiful day in San Diego. It's like 75 degrees or something like that. I just kind of decided to, you know, hang out at the park today and do some work and shoot a video. So don't mind what's going on in the background. But anyways, so let me see here. So all right, so let me jump right onto the last part. So dominant. Let's see here, make sure that there's not missing anything. My face not cutting anything out. Okay, cool. So make sure it's not brand name dominant. So let's say you come here, and then once again, as I've explained to you guys before, I don't do any product research without the Jungle Scout app. I've tried in the beginning when I first started, you know, doing Amazon FBA. I honestly just would wing things, you know. 3 out of 3 first items that I ordered, you know, did not do good, and it was because of that, because I was just kind of, you know, looking, like, let's say I'll look at this and I'll say, okay, well, you know, 78, 42 reviews, you know, I'll look at this, okay, well, how does this look? I'll go at the listing. It doesn't work that way. You need more concrete information about the products and what's going on with them, you know what I mean? So you need to know exactly what's happening. And it is it's the little, you know, what do you call it? Let me see here. So it's the little, let me see if you can see it. Can you see it now? Okay, here. This is better. So it's the little logo right here. It's the, says Jungle Scout right here. It's a Chrome extension. So if you click on it, see what's going to happen right here. Sorry, my internet is not the fastest because I'm working off my phone's hotspot. So as soon as this gets going, I'll show you guys exactly what I'm talking about and how things work. So as you can see, one thing also I've explained in the past is make sure that you let the numbers run. And you'll know the numbers are running or finished running when the numbers at the top right here actually show up. Otherwise, just let it load. And if it only loads like up to here, you know, like you know something is wrong. So what you'll do is you want to refresh it. And then the first, you know, thing that I personally do is I'll take out all the sponsored ones, because, you know, those could be somebody that's just running, you know, that just started listing or just started their listing, and they're, you know, they're paying to be up there, so you don't know exactly what the sales are or whatever. So you want to make sure that you actually take them out of the equation. So let's kind of look at this right here, right? So if we actually bring up our criteria here and put it right here, I'm not going to click on it so it doesn't disappear. So if you look at this right here, so let's analyze this together and then kind of see what, you know, what I was talking about earlier. So if you look at this, okay, all right, cool, let's see here. So you got 85 reviews, so that's okay. I mean, it is a little bit more competitive than I want it to be, but so what we're doing is we're analyzing, you know, 7 or 8 of the top 12 or 13, right? So we want them to be under 50. So you look at this, okay, you say no, 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 1, no. I guess you can consider this as 2, no, no, 3, 4, 5, 6 of the top, you know, 13 or so. But then, you know, I said if you have 2 of the top 12 or 13 that are, you know, above where you need them to be, that's okay. But see, if you look at this, I mean, you got, you know, 3, 600, you know, these are, it's a little bit competitive, right? And the average is not, you know, the average is, even if it's like 50 or 60, it's okay. But this 85, it's a little bit competitive. I can do with this. See, the average price is $24.87. That's okay. I honestly don't look at the sales rank. A lot of people do. They say, you know, anything below 60, 70,000, that means it sells at least 10 a day. You know, anything between 70,000 to, you know, 150,000, that means it sells at least, you know, 2 to 5 a day. I honestly don't look much at the sales rank because I just don't think it means anything, or at least, you know, I don't consider it to meaning anything. And as you can see, I did not even include it in my criteria here. Now, the monthly sales, they're just not there. Now, here's the thing. If I was only selling 200 a month, but I was profiting $15 an item, that's okay. But at 24 or even $25, I don't see myself profiting $15. I don't see the cost being only $10, especially not after advertising and all that, right? Especially not after seeing how competitive it is. Now, if you look at the sell price, you'll find that it's above $6.99, and the reason why I say that it's above $6.99 or mention that number even is because Amazon actually considers anything below $6.99 as an add-on. So let's say you started your product and you only have $500 or $1,000 or whatever to actually make your first shipment or order your first product. So you have to go for products that cost a little bit, but at the same time they have to sell for a little bit, because they're not gonna you can't find a product that's gonna cost you $2 and sell it for $30. So and you can only let's say find a product that you can sell for like let's say $10 or something like that. What you do is you actually go ahead and make sure that you can sell the product for at least $6.99, because when you go to, let's say I found your product and it's at $6.29 or $6.49 or whatever, anything less than $6.99, I actually can't add it to my cart unless I have actually added another item before, because it just does not make sense for Amazon to sell and ship an item that's only gonna, they're only gonna charge $6.99 for them or for. Another thing is price action. I make sure that it's stable, and what I mean by that is, let's say, aside from having, let's say I'm selling the molecular model kit, right, and then it sells just the molecular model kit, and then everybody else is selling the same thing, and it's between $22 to $27, and then all of a sudden you got somebody selling something for $35 or $40. Well, you have to look into that. What if they're selling that plus, let's say, an ebook or something like that? Then that's a whole different thing. So what I'll do is I'll just hover over and I'll take it off my search here, so because I don't want it to actually conflict the way I'm doing research. So you want to make sure that everything is within the same price, and if they are within the same price, you want to make sure that they all fall within like 10 to 15% of each other's price. Because if they vary, like if one of them is at $15 and one of them is at $25 and one is at $30, one is at $18 or whatever, maybe everybody is so competitive that, let's say, they all started at 25 and then started dropping from there. So I just want to make sure everything is within 5-10% of each other. Also, another thing is possible liability. So what I mean by that, as I was mentioning earlier, let's say a certain product is, let's say this product, it has small items or small parts, and if it was being sold for like kids under like 5, actually 3, I'll kind of be worried. But this item, sells for, high school and college goods, so I'm not worried. So you always have to look at it, okay, does it have dye? Does it, does it have anything that's poisonous? Can they choke on it? Is it for children? Whatever. Because at the end of the day, you don't want to, you just don't want to get sued, right? Another thing, I think my face is in the middle. Another thing is Breakable. It's getting shipped from China to the U.S. somewhere, and then from the U.S. to another address. Or if you are in a different, world, or doing this in a different market, same thing. You're getting shipped from, even if you're getting your suppliers from the U.S., it's traveling tens, hundreds of miles. You just don't know what's going to happen. If, if it's like a bulb or something glass or whatever, you'd hate for you to do all that work, it arriving at the customer's door broken, right? Another thing is competitors listing. What I'll do is I'll analyze the top 2 or 3 or 4. So let's say if we go here, you don't worry about the sponsored, but let's say go to this guy. So this guy is the top seller, and then we'll analyze their listing. Okay, how can I improve? Can I improve? Because you want to compete against the top 5, 10, and you want to make sure that you could actually be there, right? Because you want to make sure that people are going to like your listing better than theirs, and they're going to order your product more than theirs, so you could actually start ranking in the top 5 or 10 in the first page, essentially. So every listing starts with a title, right? And the first things first. This listing, I like titles that are longer because title is actually a keyword field, so I like to put as many keywords as possible in there, and the main keywords. So I'll give this maybe a 6 or a 7. And then the next thing is pictures. So you want to look at their pictures, right? So pictures, I want to have like different angles of the product being used, Make sure they all are zoomable and they're high resolution. So if you click on this right here, you see that it actually could be zoomed. They're all high resolution. If you click on it, so it could be zoomed or whatnot. Also, the next thing I look at is features, item features, which is typically in the beginning. So they are all the way down here. I don't know why, but they're right here. So it's got features. Amazon lets you put 5 different bullet points. So this is actually perfect. This is exactly what I want. What I do typically is the main feature, like the main keywords of the feature in like big caps, and then I'll go about a sentence or two explaining, why is it, like hands-on learning. How is it hands-on learning? Well, it has 124 pieces, blah blah blah, and go about it. This, I'll give this an 8 or a 9. And then there's features. Features not exactly important as the description not exactly important as the features, but all in all, I'd give this listing about a 7 or 8. I could probably do better, like add another picture or two for like people using it. Maybe expand a little bit more onto the title. But all in all, you get the picture. I don't want to make this video too long. But this is exactly how I look, and I'll analyze another 2 or 3 and kind of see how things work. Now, another thing that let's pull up our criteria here. Another thing that I will look at, let's pull up the Jungle Scouts too, so we kind of know what we're talking about. So another thing also that I look at is weight. I'll make sure that it's not more than 2 pounds, 2.5 pounds, okay. Weight and dimensions kind of go side by side. I don't see this item being any more than 8 to 12 ounces. I don't see this item being bigger than a shoebox, so that's no problem. Cost of product, I don't know exactly how much this product costs, but you want to make sure that you are at most 25% of your sell price. So if you're selling it at $20, it shouldn't be costing you more than $5 to get shipped to the US. Now typically the reason why I have this kind of further down, because if I'm convinced all the way through, then I'll go about for you to actually find out how much the product costs, you have to actually contact suppliers. You want to not every product you may think it's good, you don't want to go contact 5-10 suppliers and waste your time. So once you're convinced with all this stuff, then you'll go about finding the price, FBA calculator, to find out exactly how much. And if you just go to Google, type FBA calculator to find out exactly how much Amazon is going to charge you to fulfill the products for you. Patented, I don't think this is patented, but you go to Google Pants. Name brand dominated. Now what I mean about this is, let's say, so the top, the first page has 10 or 15 listings, right? So let's say, let's look at whatever this brand is. So Atomic Architect. So if, the first 15, Atomic Architect has like 4 or 5 of those 15, then that means they're dominating this market. They're probably niche specific. They probably have, customers from outside of Amazon. They have following clientele. They have created a very deep following clientele. So you don't want to mess with things like that, right? So that's, that's pretty much as far as what it comes to the basics. Like this is, every time I look at the first thing I do, once again, as I always say, I don't do any product research without the Jungle Scouts app. Literally, this is the first thing I do is I pull Jungle Scouts. If these numbers look good, then I'll pull out my, my criteria. If they fit this criteria, then I'll go about, more further research, which also is on the Jungle Scout. And by the way, Jungle Scout app, to download this, the description is going to be, the link is going to be in the description below. It's going to be the first link. The second link is going to be just a way to contact me, if you have any further questions, if you want any further help, if you're interested in mentoring program, whatever. But most importantly, I don't do anything without Jungle Scouts. This is the criteria, and I'm giving all this. Literally, this is how I do my product research. I'm just handing it over to you. If you like my video, please subscribe to my channel, as I post daily videos about Amazon FBA and other things when I get requests. But my main focus is on Amazon FBA, because this is exactly what I do. If you have any further questions, if there's anything I did not cover you want me to cover, leave it in the comments below. Do smash the thumbs up, like the video, let me know if you have any questions. Thank you very much for watching, guys, and I hope to see y'all in the next video. Y'all take care.